Here's the truth no one ever says out loud. Solo cruising as a senior is either the most liberating experience of your life or a confusing tangle of logistics, where was I supposed to go again moments, and elevators that somehow always skip your deck. But when you know how to approach a solo trip at this stage of life, cruising becomes something entirely different. Empowering, peaceful, richly social, and wonderfully stress-free. As someone who studies cruise behavior, psychology, and patterns across solo travel, I've seen over and over how small mindset shifts and smart planning give senior solo cruisers the smoothest, safest, and most joy-filled trips on the ocean. I want to share with you a detailed guide to doing exactly that. Practical, confidence-building, and tailored to life at sea. I am the solo cruiser Wade Heath, and if you feel like my reporting and perspective bring you any sort of value, I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel. And if you would like to cruise more often but not have to pay that double occupancy rate that solo travelers often have to pay, hey look, it's a question I get asked most of all. How do you sail so much without paying double all the time? I've put it together 5 easy tips to share. It is completely free. It's down in the description if you want more information. I want you to be able to cruise more often. Go ahead and get that download and start employing those tactics today. We begin with choose ships designed for comfort and ease of movement. Not all cruise ships are equally friendly to those who want fewer stairs, shorter walking distances, and clear navigation. So you should look for ships with midship elevator banks because that leads to shorter hallways. Plenty of seating throughout public areas is something you should be zeroed in on. Good lighting, especially on outdoor decks and corridors, and an overall just quieter vibe that doesn't require you to have to dodge 100 kids doing cannonballs. Lines that seniors often love are Princess Cruises, Viking, Holland America, Celebrity, Cunard, and some of the smaller Royal Caribbean ships that don't necessarily have a theme park attached to them like the newer ones do. I would also tell you pick a mid-ship cabin close to the elevators. This happens to reduce a lot of the motion on the ship. It also reduces walking distance and increases convenience when attending activities. I think your knees will thank you most of all. To follow that, prioritize safety without feeling restricted. Solo doesn't mean unsafe, it just means intentional. Smart, simple habits for seniors cruising solo could be never opening your cabin door without checking the peephole. Keep your cabin deadbolt locked when inside. That's something I do every single cruise. You never know who has access to your room. Keep that deadbolt locked. Stick to well-lit areas of the ship at night. Let someone at home know your itinerary as well. And take a photo of your daily program so you always know what's happening and when. If you love evening strolls on deck, and who doesn't, they can be magical, I would say walk near open areas, not isolated stairwells. We don't want any trip hazards. We don't want you falling. We don't want you in an area of the ship nobody can hear you. If a late night dessert happens to call your name, answer it boldly, but stick to main walkways. Moving along here, join solo and enrichment activities even if you're timid. A huge secret of senior solo cruising is that people your age want the same things you do. They want connection without pressure. So look for solo cruiser meetups. Almost every ship has this nowadays. It's something you can easily take advantage of. It's always listed out on the program. Sometimes they're hosted by crew members on the ships. Other times, they're not at all. It's just a free-for-all. Anybody can show up. Go to trivia or maybe lectures and enrichment talks. Arts and crafts classes, sometimes I see knitting classes are on certain ships. Wine or coffee tastings are something you could take advantage of. And dance classes. You do not need to be a dancer, just someone willing to laugh at yourself in case you're not as good as you thought you were. And trivia is a senior solo cruiser's dream, by the way. It's low pressure, lots of conversation, and built-in teamwork for sure. So you'll end up with new cruise friends by accident quite often when you visit the trivia. Next up, use tech in simple, stress-free ways. You don't have to be a tech wizard, you just need the basics that make solo travel easier. So before you're sailing, you should learn how to use the cruise line's app. This is becoming more and more prominent nowadays. There are not many cruise lines that allow you to escape it anymore. This is mainly for schedules and for dining. Sometimes you need to check into dining using the app. Sometimes you can only find certain things going on via the app. And therefore, it's more important than ever to have the app on your phone and to know how to navigate it. Most cruise line apps are pretty simple, right? They're pretty straightforward. Now, I have seen some be more complicated than they should end up being, but there are majority out there that end up being very simple to utilize. So just get used to it prior to your cruise, so that way when you need to use it on the cruise, you know where you're going on that app. You know exactly where things are. How to turn airplane mode on and connect to ship Wi-Fi. It's also very important. You don't want a huge bill for your cell phone when you come back after your cruise. And how to text family from the ship. That's also something you should know how to do prior to boarding. And a heads up, make sure you download that ship app at home on your stronger Wi-Fi, not at the cruise terminal when things are chaotic and everyone's phones are fighting for signal, like seagulls fighting for a French fry. I mean, I see that far too often. And more often than not, another thing that I come across just as a traveler in general is if you've ever tried to download anything and you don't have the ship's Wi-Fi purchased on your phone already, that creates a heck of a problem, because then it's up to your phone's data to have to download a major app. And a lot of times your phone is like, well, that's gonna cost you, right? Like that's gonna be an extra, because you're sucking all the data out of a download. And so do this when you are at home. Do this when you have a chance before your cruise. It makes a big difference overall. We'll follow that up with eat where you feel comfortable, not where you feel expected. Dining is one of the biggest stressors for solo seniors and solo travelers in general. And here is your permission slip. You never have to sit at a shared table if you don't want to. I have walked out of dining rooms before when they say, all we have are shared tables. Well, okay, I'm not in the mood for that right now. Maybe I just don't want to talk to people. Maybe I want to focus on something I've got going on. I've walked out and thought, okay, I'll come back later, or I'll go somewhere else on board. And you never have to dine alone in a corner if you don't want to, right? If you do want company, you can dine at a shared table. I've done that too, where I absolutely want to dine at a shared table and meet new people. A lot of your options include assigned seating with group tables. Those are things you could take advantage of. Anytime dining as well, where you can request your own table. Specialty restaurants for a quieter, more intentional meal. You get a lot of extra attention from your server in the specialty dining venues, right? They focus purely on you. And room service when your energy is low. Just have them bring that food to your door. If you want to be social, choose a larger table on night one. It creates instant dining buddies, and if you don't, request a table for one and enjoy that uninterrupted joy of having the breadbasket all to yourself. Beyond that, pace yourself with a 2-activity rule. You're not on a race across the ship, you're here to savor, right? A perfect solo senior cruise day, it often looks like this: 1 planned activity, 1 optional activity, and a completely guilt-free lounging the rest of the day. Attend the morning enrichment talk or the morning show often that cruise directors tend to have on board. Then reward yourself with a quiet afternoon on your balcony, with a book, the ocean breeze, and 0 apologies. Next, I would say pick excursions that prioritize comfort and accessibility. There is no badge of honor for climbing ruins in 90-degree heat. Look for excursions labeled easy activity level. That will be your first identifier. Panoramic tour is another one. Limited walking or accessible. Small group experience is also a really great thing to target when you're booking your shore excursions. A panoramic bus tour is often the best solo choice. It's comfortable, it's safe, it's guided, and it's scenic. You get views, you get stories, photos, and no stress about keeping up with the group. Continuing here with bring medications and documents in a single organized kit. Simple equals stress-free, doesn't it? You should include daily medications and 2 to 3 extra days worth just in case anything happens while you're out at sea. A printed list of prescriptions. Your emergency contacts should be in there. Travel insurance details. A copy of your passport is very important. And reading glasses with a backup pair is also something you should consider. A small first aid kit, just in case. And keep your medication kit in your personal carry-on, not your checked luggage. Remember, luggage delays can happen. Luggage delays are a part of the travel experience. Doesn't even have to be cruise ship related. This could be completely related to a flight you took, right? That's something that can also crop up. Your pills shouldn't be part of that adventure. And let me follow that up by saying, don't be afraid to ask for help. The staff are trained for this. You are not a burden. Crew members are trained to support seniors and solo travelers with navigating the ship, with carrying trays, with providing seating, and helping locate your cabin if you get turned around. They are there to ensure you feel safe and that you feel comfortable. If you walk into the buffet and the layout makes no sense, because it never does. There are very few that make sense. Ask a crew member to help you get a plate and to help you find a seat. They're more than happy to help. A lot of them love extending that personal service. It's something that they hope their superiors see as they do it, in fact. So do not be afraid to reach out. Do not be afraid to ask a name tag for some support. They are more than happy to do it. And finally, embrace the freedom that solo senior cruising offers. Look, you get to wake up when you want, you get to eat where you want, you get to socialize or be blissfully introverted, you get to book excursions based on your interests, you get to spend sea days exactly how you feel, and that freedom hits differently later in life. It's lighter, it's richer, and it's more meaningful. If you want to sit on the promenade deck listening to the ocean for an hour, you don't have to explain or compromise with anyone, and that's the joy of it. Solo cruising as a senior isn't about courage, it's about clarity. You know what brings you peace, joy, rest, connection, and beauty, and you're choosing it boldly. The ocean becomes a place where age isn't a limitation, it's an advantage. You've lived long enough to appreciate every sunrise, every quiet moment, and every sparkling port. And the ship? It's simply your floating reminder that it's never too late to travel, to grow, to meet new people, or rediscover pieces of yourself you forgot were there. Are you a solo senior cruiser who loves to take these adventures? Or are you a senior who happens to love cruising in general and you go on them all the time with companions? Either way, are there tips that I missed for seniors who love cruising, for seniors who are fans of solo cruising? Are there any tips that I did not include that you feel might be valuable for seniors who are watching this? If so, please drop them in the comments. I'm sure everybody could benefit from that wisdom. And if you're a solo cruiser looking to cruise more often, but you're afraid of that double occupancy rate, you're looking to take more adventures, you're just worried it's going to break the bank, I'm here to tell you I almost never pay double occupancy as a solo traveler, and I've put together those steps, those tips for you in a document. It is completely free. It is there for you to download. Check out the link in the description. And if you'd like to see what it was like to be on a full-scale 7-day cruise adventure solo from Los Angeles to the Mexican Riviera aboard the Royal Princess, well, I've included that video over here on the right for you. And for other cruise tips and tricks, you can check out that video on the left. I'm the solo cruiser Wade Heath. I will see you next time.